We're going into overtime today. Come get your first look at the brand new Death Zone Season 1 expansion to Blood Bowl. Spiking bits. Alright, welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Baer here again with you on a fine hobby holiday weekend with a look at the gaming supplement, the very first one for Blood Bowl. Now this is interesting because this basically gives you a kind of stuff that came with the original Blood Bowl set, but it doesn't come with the new Blood Bowl set. So it's kind of like this double-edged sword of we're paying for new content and it's great for it to come out. And there's amazing stuff in here. Like I can imagine most people are going to want to pick up this book. However, this is kind of the standard stuff that you would expect to be in the Blood Bowl rulebook of old. So if you look through there, if you pick up Blood Bowl this weekend, you're like, WTF, where's this, and this rule? Well, this is where they all are, probably. So this is what is this thing here? This is a new 48-page supplement for the game. It features the 7 new game types, or 7 new team types. Skaven, Nurgle, Dwarves, Elven teams, High Elves, Dark Elves, Wood Elves, and, basically all the background, all the fluff, all the cool stuff about them. You got new rules in here. The stuff like I was talking about that if you played Blood Bowl before was in the existing rulebooks. Like prizes, casualties, other special rules and things like that. They've also got the updated skills in here that weren't in the main rulebook themselves. Stuff like piling on, optional things like I think bribes are in here too. I remember seeing, and then it goes into coaches, of course. Those were always a big part of the game. And the big part, star players, so you can hire them on, get them on your team and start all that stuff here. And then, of course, in the back, they've got the reference guide for all of the teams, too. Now, before we jump in and take our first look, I just want to talk a little bit about kind of how it's going. Because, so you've got your Skaven Blight team, which we already did a separate unboxing of here, right? And then those basically are 2 of the same sprues, but you might notice here that there's going to be rat ogres in there, so there will be future expansions probably from Games Workshop. Also, this is technically not a whole team because I believe you need 14 players, I think, to play the game. So I'm not sure if they're going to come out with a clan pack expansion or some sort of maybe like you get one of these sprues here and like some sort of rat ogre kind of thing in the future. But obviously they are setting this thing up for future releases, of course, being, season 1, we could see season 2, season 3, season 4, all sorts of expansions, which was one of the things that kind of killed Blood Bowl back in the day anyways. And so it's nice to see that Games Workshop is definitely positioning themselves not only to make some money, of course, because you got to pay for all this new great, rich, engrossing content, but also to give us more releases and make, the game kind of carry on. And not that it hasn't, and there's plenty of leagues still out there existing on the old rules. But now, they're kind of looking to the future and, start rebooting the specialist games and things. So let's jump right into the book here now that I've talked about stuff that I feel is quite rough, I guess important to what's going on with the whole Blood Bowl thing. So here's your contents. Like I said, it's a 48-page book, and of course it ends in a league roster sheet, kind of like what we saw with the Age of Sigmar books. You got your star player summaries. Then you got the official reference guides, which I already showed you there, and we'll talk about those a little bit more. Some Hall of Fame. I actually skipped over that whole section. Remember, this is a first look. I'm just kind of showing you things, kind of letting you know if this is worth your hobby dollars or not, and letting you know you can always vote with your hobby dollars. So we definitely advocate that. Coaching staff rules, skills rule, which you can tell here is at least 8 pages long. There's a lot of stuff in that one. There's some of the basic stuff in here, like block, but then also there's expanded stuff that only pertains to certain teams and things. Optional league rules for, that's up to your commissioner of your particular league there, and then the new official rules for all this stuff. So you've got your league rules, getting started, league seasons, team, star player points. I don't think those changed. I think it's 3 for a touchdown, 2 for an interception, 1 for a turnover, I want to say. I think that's what it was. Playing league matches, expensive mistakes, seasons end, playoffs, prizes, last game, start a new season, and inducements. I don't know what that word means. I'm a dummy. And then you've got the all new teams right here. So basically it breaks down, and that's kind of like your fluff section for those 7 teams we talked about there. Now, so we're just kind of hit the sections here. So here's your teams, and then this is basically how it breaks down. So it talks, kind of famous teams, talks about a star player, Gives you some of their, their baseball card stats, football card stats right there. And then it gets into their actual profile about, like, oh, the Dallas Cowboys have been America's team since, the 1950s or whatever, And then it gets into the team section here where you actually have stats, your costs, and this is that league stuff that wasn't in the main rulebook. Of course, there's stats there that are printed on the cards that come with the Blood Bowl set. But I guess if you just using the existing teams, you would still need this book. Their skills, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that is. That might be some campaign stuff. And of course, like I said, this is a first look. I'm sure some people can drop that in the comments what they are. So there's 7 of these. That whole section is pretty chock full of them. And then we get into the new official rules section, which, like I said, is how you can play your league games. You get your star player points, your casualties, because the casualty table is actually not in the main rulebook. Because I was like, oh, that's cool, you get knocked down. And then you go to the casualty box, and then what happens? Oh, there's no rules for, like, actually killing people. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's in here, neat. Then you got star player points. So it is, let's see, a pass is, a completion is 1 point. Okay, not a turnover. A touchdown is 2 and an interception is 1. Okay, gotcha, cool. Improvement rules, things for your star player point, kind of sliding scale there. New skills, playing your league matches, all the stuff that you would expect are in here. Then you get the optional rules. Piling on is very interesting. So obviously certain teams are going to want to take advantage of that. Fan factors, all sorts of stuff that we've seen in the past, spiraling expenses if you just get to be too good to try to keep it a little bit in balance or under control, I suppose. Then the skills, and like I said, there's general stuff in here, then there's the new stuff, mutations, all sorts of different things, and this is like 8 pages of these bad boys. So lots and lots of stuff, lots and lots of little like pointers from Jim Johnson, and then you get in your coaching staff. Exhibition play I actually skipped over, I have no idea what that is. Plan ace. I guess that's so you don't like lose, you have to pay and lose points or anything like that. Hall of Famers. But what I wanted to talk about again was the tables in the back. Now, if you notice, we already talked about basically how you can see that each team just about has a special character. Now, the Dwarfs, they have the Death Roller. It looks like the Death Roller's coming back, which I would love to see that thing reimagined to 2017. Or I imagine, 2017 is probably when a lot of stuff's going to come out. But some of them don't have big guys. Like your High Elves don't have big guys, Your Nurgle team has this guy called Rotspawn. Human teams have Ogres. Skaven teams have Ogres. Orc teams have Trolls. So the question is, how are we going to get releases for those, because they don't come in the box set? You only get these other 4 factions, and you only get 12 of them there. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Here's your star players and the cost of all them. So in conclusion, I think if you are picking up Blood Bowl and you're going to enter into a league, or maybe organize a league at your game store, or just want to play with a couple of friends, this is probably the book for you. If you feel like you require something more than just a pick up kind of the same game, air quotes, over and over with the starter box, this book is probably for you. If you just want to pick it up and put it down and no big deal, then you probably don't want this book. You probably just want to stay with the starter set. But either way, you're going to need the starter set for the starter rules, and this has all of your extra things like your gold pieces and how much teams cost and star player points and how to track everything and actually basically run a league, So I think it's great. $25 for a little soft cover, 48-page book. I don't think it's too bad of a value, to be quite honest. And it's great new content that hopefully we will see a lot more of here in the near future. Now, obviously, I'm not a Blood Bowl expert. I do not pretend to be. I played the game several times in the past, and that is about all I know. So I will make mistakes when talking about that stuff. So obviously, if I did make a mistake, left something out, or something needs to be clarified, please leave it in the comments below.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.